Well, hello, everyone. Hope you all are having a great time. Hope you all are doing well. Again, sorry for my voice if it sounds weird. I'm trying to recover from being sick, and I apologize if I miss any maybe coughs or sniffles or anything like that in the editing. I probably will. I feel like I miss a ton when I edit. Anyway, hope you all are doing well. Hope you've been enjoying the series, and if you're here, then honestly, congratulations. It's 15 days in. We're basically halfway done, unless I do like any bonus episodes for day 31 or anything. But I think we're halfway done, guys. It's kind of crazy. So give yourself a pat on the shoulder. Make sure to kind of take note of the things you've learned and kind of appreciate that you've been learning and that you've been training and that you've been putting in a little bit of maybe extra time, setting aside from your day to kind of work on some improvement in Rocket League. Because I mean, it doesn't always have to be grinding ranked and super intense and super serious. Sometimes you can just sit back with a cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, and just get some vibes in, get some training in, and without having to worry about how you're doing or how everyone else is doing, just kind of you in the field, you know? Enough ranting. Today we're going to be working on kind of like a subcategory of dribbling. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite types of ways to train, and something I always tell my students to do when I'm doing my coachings. And this is just bounce dribbles, and you'll see me here just kind of getting these little touches. And bounce dribbles are going to be your best friend, especially in 1v1s, because they're just so threatening. You can get some really crazy shots off, and some really insane power if you time everything just right. I'm still not super great at them, and no, by no means am I a master or anything, but these are definitely good things just to kind of practice, especially in free play, just around the pitch, trying to get these like kind of nice little touches back into the ball. I try and do little circles on these, but this is what we're going to be working on today. We'll make sure we cover some tips and some tricks, and I'll explain everything that I know. I'm kind of short of breath. I'm struggling to breathe because my nose is all stuffed up and whatnot. That's just kind of how it goes when you're sick. I hope no one else is sick right now. I hope everyone's doing well. But put on your favorite playlist. Let's listen to some music and let's vibe out and do some bounce dribbling for a minute. I like to try and do these little circles. It's important to try different types of like touches and different, like, I guess you could say strengths of touches, just to see how the ball really reacts with your car and the force of the bounce and stuff, because sometimes you want small bounces like this that you can really kind of keep an eye on and keep really close. That way, if someone challenges you, you'll be able to do some sort of an outplay or something. I like doing back and forths like this, because there's just so much you can do once you're actually on the field, and once you play with different types of mechanics, there's just so much you can do. But the most basic drill is just kind of, I like to call it the hot potato drill, where you just kind of get these little bounces and you try and get them just kind of going in a circle like this. Once you get a little bit better, you can start doing figure eights and changing direction every now and again. We kind of pay attention to when you're boosting, how much you're boosting, how much force is actually needed to get the pop that you want. Because you can, as you see, like, these can get some crazy height on them if you're touching them just right. You kind of want to be trying to hit the pop just after it makes its bounce. Because if you hit it too soon, like, you'll kind of kill the ball's bounce and everything. So, I'm trying to give an example. I'm just hitting it perfectly right after. There, like that. It'll kind of hit it into the ground, and you won't be getting the bounce. And then if you hit it too early, obviously it's just going to kill it on your car. I like to do little drifts in mine too, kind of like, almost like power slide cuts, but not quite. And then it's good with this to kind of try and slow down in your brain, like, what can I do if someone is challenging me right now? Like right here, what would you do? And you can like kind of probably think of a few little things, like maybe you would just do a single jump and let it go over them. Maybe you think that they'll read that, so you do a double jump. And or maybe you have just enough room to get a nice flick off. Or if you even wanted, you could just hit it away from them to the left or the right. For example, if you get this pop, you could just hit it to the side and let them kind of dive in. Might give you a little bit more time to get some control on the ball. They might even leave their whole net open. It's good to practice like power shots after the bounce too, just so you can get really good shots. I like getting a bounce and then kind of swinging through like that. That way the ball has like 1 point of momentum, like let's say to the left, and then you're coming from the right. And it kind of gives it a nice direction change, and you also get a little bit more power after it. But just practice getting some good shots, maybe play around with getting a little flip too, maybe get a double jump, hit it over the person. If you're really good, you can turn this around and score it. But yeah, we're just working on these little bounces, do little serpentines here and there, try and get some really nice little turns. If you want, you can try and get it into a dribble, and then back into a bounce dribble. You can even work on your fakes, like fake getting a touch, and then don't get a touch, get a dribble and a flick. There's just tons of stuff you can do with bounce dribbles. You can take them to the left, you can fake take them to the left and take them to the right. And then there's almost no good time to really challenge a bounce dribble, because at any point they could just get a little pop and hit it right around you. And they're really threatening because they're super hard to read. Because you could shoot at any time during the bounce, or not shoot. It's really a really good little dribbling mechanic. And I think everyone should make sure they have their bounce dribbles down. I'm not too great at them. I don't do them nearly enough. I kind of want to be starting to implement these more into my 1v1s personally, because they are really good and they're a low committal. And if someone does challenge you with some of these, like, let's say they're challenging you, you could just do a single jump and get like some sort of a 50 with them, especially if they're like kind of an aggressive player, you know? Yeah, just kind of work on getting your little figure eights. I like to try and hit the ball kind of in a diagonal spot from where its momentum is going. So let's say the ball is going this way, I'm going to try and touch it there, so I can kind of get a little change on it. And the more drastic that is, the more drastic the pop is going to be in some scenarios. So like here, that's going to be a high pop. Just kind of play around with it. Maybe try hitting it with your booty, just hitting it with the side of your car. You can get some really fun stuff going with these. Or you can just drive under it like me and miss it sometimes, and that's totally fine too. We're just here to train right now, so don't even worry if you can't get it super consistently. If you can only get it once or twice, that's totally fine. Just really focus on when you're making contact with the ball. And try and keep it as close to you as you can too, or try and get really big pops. I think it's better to kind of be able to keep this bounce really close to you. That way if someone does challenge you, you'll be able to react quick enough. But your reaction speeds will definitely kind of increase as you play the game more, as you get a little bit better. Yeah, just take a shot every now and again, just so you can kind of make sure you have that feel for the motion of how it works. Maybe work on getting some fake touches, work on getting fake jumps and stuff, and then continuing your dribble if you want. This is technically kind of a basic mechanic, I think. Maybe a little too basic for how far in we are, but I think it's definitely a good one, and I think it's kind of overlooked a lot. I use this a ton in 2v2s and 1v1s, mostly in 1v1s though, just because you have so much more time to work on your control in 1v1s. That's why I love 1v1s, it's just because you get so much more time on the ball. You get to try and kind of work on things that maybe you wouldn't work on in 3s, because most of the time, I feel like in 3s, not as much in 2s, but in 3s definitely you'll get kind of challenged pretty quick with any of your plays. That's why possession and being able to keep possession is such an important thing, and 1s really does teach you that, and that can translate into your 3v3s if you do it right. I think the only thing that 1v1s will teach you that 3s won't is challenging when you need to challenge, because in 3v3s you can challenge a lot more. than you can in 2v2s and 1v1s, because you have 2 other people on your team, theoretically. But if you're last man, don't. And that's kind of where a lot of threes players will get mixed up and probably need to work on 1v1s, because in 1v1s you're always last man, and you need to be comfortable getting those shadow saves and things. Nice, getting some good little bounces here. Just pay attention to how the ball reacts again, and make sure you're turning just the right amount. Try and control your bounces, try and make them not too big, try and make them not too small. Just really play around with different ways of getting your bounces. That's what this game's about, is about really just kind of experimenting and playing around and learning how different things react to other things. You'll notice sometimes if you can't really get there, you can kind of do a jump to kind of change the bounce a little bit. So like here, for example, after it hits the ground, I do a little bit of a jump to kind of get a different type of pop, you know? Just something to take note of. Tomorrow's episode, I am pretty much looking forward to. I think it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a little bit different than what we've done so far, but I think it'll be good. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know if you've been enjoying the time, I guess I could say, how much time we're spending on these. I didn't want to do as long as last season or last training series, because I think I was doing closer to 25-30 minutes, and I felt like that was too long for some people and kind of scaring them away from the series. And you can always do more training if you want, but as long as you're getting in a little bit, honestly, each day, then that's going to get you more improvement than if you weren't doing it, obviously. When I do my trainings, I always try and do like maybe 1 or 2 mechanics and then 1 or 2 game sense aspects, and I work on those for at least 10 minutes a day each. That's kind of what I look forward to. But that's because I have a little bit more time. Some people don't have that much time in their day, but I like to try and make sure I'm playing for maybe 45 minutes at least a day if I can get it in. But you know, life gets busy sometimes, and you can't always do what you want to do. And so I think 10 minutes a day, at least, for those of you that are really working on just improving little mechanics as you go, that'll be just fine. Maybe 1 or 2 ranked games if you can. Sometimes I don't even get my ranked games in, but I think at a certain point, getting your training in and working on your control and your mechanics is gonna be the next thing. It's gonna be the next thing that you notice that you really need to work on, because you're not gonna get as much time, as much dedicated time into what you need to work on, even in 1v1s or 2v2s, just because you have someone else there that you're kind of using as a tool to test out your mechanics, if you will. Alright. Well, I think that's going to be it. Make sure you guys have a good rest of your day. Make sure y'all subscribe and like if you enjoy the video. Maybe share it with a friend. Challenge them if you think they suck at dribbles or something. I don't know. But I've enjoyed this. It's been pretty relaxing. I'm probably going to do more training after the video, but it's just because it's snowy out and I'm sick, and I'm trying not to do too much right now. Anyway, thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.